A luxury yacht cuts through the dark waters of the Atlantic, its cargo worth millions hidden in secret compartments. The vessel's destination, the Spanish coast. Its mission, to deliver half a ton of pure Colombian cocaine to European streets. But what the crew doesn't know is that Spanish authorities have been watching their every move for months. This isn't just another drug bust. This is the takedown of an international cocaine network that spans continents, involves one of the world's most notorious motorcycle clubs, and reveals how modern drug trafficking operates at the highest levels. On December 2nd, 2023, Spanish National Police made headlines when they arrested 4 members of the Hells Angels motorcycle club for smuggling 500 kilograms of cocaine into Spain. The operation, which had been under surveillance since July, exposed a sophisticated international drug trafficking network that stretched from the coca fields of Colombia to the streets of Canada. The surveillance operation. The story begins months earlier, on July 30th, 2023. Spanish authorities received intelligence about suspicious activities involving Canadian nationals with connections to the Hells Angels motorcycle club. What started as routine monitoring quickly escalated into one of the most significant drug trafficking investigations of the year. The Spanish National Police didn't work alone. This was a coordinated international effort involving the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, Europol, French tax authorities, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The scale of cooperation reveals just how seriously law enforcement takes the global reach of organized crime. For over 4 months, investigators tracked the movements of their targets. They monitored communications, followed financial transactions, and watched as the pieces of an elaborate smuggling operation came together. The suspects had no idea they were walking into a carefully laid trap. The yacht from Colombia. The operation centered around a single yacht that had made the treacherous journey from Colombia to Spain. This wasn't a pleasure cruise. It was a floating drug laboratory carrying 500 kilograms of pure cocaine, worth millions on the European black market. One of the arrested men had sailed this yacht directly from Colombia, navigating thousands of miles of open ocean to reach the Spanish coast. The journey itself was a testament to the lengths criminal organizations will go to move their product across international borders. The yacht docked near Pontevedra, a coastal city in northwest Spain. This location wasn't chosen randomly. Pontevedra's position on the Atlantic coast makes it an ideal entry point for South American drugs entering Europe. The city's busy port and numerous marinas provide perfect cover for vessels carrying illegal cargo. The meeting point. As the yacht approached Spanish waters, 3 other men were already in position. They had traveled from Canada specifically for this operation, arriving with vehicles and equipment needed to transport the massive cocaine shipment inland. One of these men was identified as a known member of the San Diego chapter of the Hells Angels. His presence revealed the international nature of the club's operations and their deep involvement in drug trafficking. This wasn't some local criminal. This was a high-ranking member of one of the world's most powerful motorcycle clubs. Another suspect was already under investigation by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for suspected drug smuggling activities. His criminal history stretched back years, with previous convictions for cocaine trafficking. This wasn't his first rodeo, but it would be his last as a free man. The arrest Spanish police struck with precision, as the cocaine was being transferred from the yacht to waiting vehicles. Over 200 officers moved in simultaneously. The operation was timed perfectly, catching the suspects in the act of handling the drugs, providing undeniable evidence of their criminal activity. 2 vans loaded with 500 kilograms of cocaine were seized. The sheer volume of drugs represented months of planning and coordination. Each kilogram could be worth up to 50,000 euros on European streets, making this seizure worth approximately 25 million euros. The 4 Canadian suspects were arrested without resistance. They knew they had been caught red-handed, with no possibility of claiming innocence. The evidence was overwhelming: hundreds of kilograms of cocaine, incriminating communications, and months of surveillance footage. The Hells Angels connection. The arrest of these 4 men revealed the deep involvement of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club in international drug trafficking. Founded in California in 1948, The club has grown from a small group of motorcycle enthusiasts to what law enforcement agencies consider one of the world's most powerful criminal organizations. The Hells Angels have chapters spanning 6 continents, with an estimated 2,500 to 3,000 members worldwide. While the club publicly maintains it's simply a motorcycle enthusiast group, law enforcement agencies in multiple countries classify it as a criminal organization involved in drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, and violent crime. The involvement of the San Diego chapter in this Spanish operation demonstrates how the club uses its international network to facilitate drug trafficking. Members can move freely between countries, using their club connections to coordinate criminal activities across borders. The Colombian connection. The cocaine seized in this operation originated in Colombia, the world's largest producer of the drug. Colombian cocaine is highly prized on international markets for its purity and quality. The journey from coca leaf to European street corner involves multiple criminal organizations, each taking their cut of the enormous profits. The yacht's journey from Colombia to Spain represents one of the most dangerous routes in the drug trade. The vessel had to navigate over 4,000 miles of open ocean, avoiding coast guards, customs officials, and rival criminal organizations. The fact that it made this journey successfully shows the sophistication of modern drug trafficking operations. Colombian cartels have been working with international partners for decades, but the involvement of motorcycle clubs like the Hells Angels represents a new evolution in the drug trade. These organizations provide the international networks and local connections needed to move massive quantities of drugs across continents. Previous arrests and patterns. This wasn't the first time Hells Angels members had been arrested in Spain for drug trafficking. The club has a long history of criminal activity in the country, with multiple major operations targeting their activities. One of the arrested suspects, identified as Wilson, had previously been arrested in Spain in 2009 for illegal possession of firearms. He served a 4-year prison sentence in the United States before returning to criminal activity. Another suspect, Arkansas, had previously served an 18-month sentence in Canada for cocaine trafficking. The international investigation. The success of this operation highlights the importance of international cooperation in fighting organized crime. The investigation involved law enforcement agencies from 5 different countries, sharing intelligence and coordinating their efforts to bring down this criminal network. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration played a crucial role, providing intelligence about the Colombian sources of the cocaine. Their agents had been tracking the shipment from its origin, watching as it made its way across the Atlantic toward Europe. Europol, the European Union's law enforcement agency, coordinated the international aspects of the investigation. Their analysts helped connect the dots between different criminal organizations, revealing the full scope of the trafficking network. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police provided crucial intelligence about the Canadian suspects, including their criminal histories and connections to the Hells Angels. Without this information, Spanish authorities might not have recognized the significance of their targets. The broader impact. This arrest represents more than just the seizure of 500 kilograms of cocaine. It's a significant blow to an international criminal network that has been operating for years. The loss of such a large shipment, combined with the arrest of key operatives, will disrupt the organization's activities for months or even years. The financial impact is enormous. The seized cocaine was worth approximately 25 million euros on European streets. This represents a massive loss for the criminal organization, money that won't be available to fund future operations or corrupt officials. But the real impact goes beyond money. The arrest of these 4 men provides law enforcement with invaluable intelligence about how international drug trafficking networks operate. Their phones, computers, and other seized materials will be analyzed for months, revealing contacts, methods, and other criminal activities. The legal consequences. The 4 arrested men face severe legal consequences. Drug trafficking charges in Spain carry sentences of up to 20 years in prison. Given the quantity of cocaine involved and the international nature of the operation, these men are likely looking at decades behind bars. The Spanish legal system takes drug trafficking seriously, especially when it involves international criminal organizations. The involvement of the Hells Angels will likely result in additional charges related to organized crime, which carry even harsher penalties. Beyond the criminal charges, the men face significant financial penalties. Spanish authorities will seek to seize any assets connected to their criminal activities, including properties, vehicles, and bank accounts. The goal is to ensure that crime doesn't pay, literally. The ongoing investigation. While 4 men were arrested in this operation, the investigation is far from over. Spanish authorities are working to identify and arrest other members of the trafficking network. The seized phones and computers will reveal additional contacts and criminal activities. The investigation is also looking into the financial aspects of the operation. Moving 500 kilograms of cocaine requires significant upfront investment, money for the drugs, transportation, and corrupt officials. Following the money trail will reveal other aspects of the criminal organization. International cooperation continues as authorities in multiple countries work to dismantle the broader network. The arrest of these 4 men is just the beginning of a much larger investigation that could result in dozens of additional arrests. The evolution of drug trafficking. This operation reveals how drug trafficking has evolved in the 21st century. Modern criminal organizations operate like multinational corporations, with sophisticated logistics networks, international partnerships, and professional management structures. The use of luxury yachts for drug transportation represents a significant evolution from traditional smuggling methods. These vessels can carry massive quantities of drugs while maintaining the appearance of legitimate pleasure craft. They can dock at marinas around the world without attracting the attention that commercial shipping might generate. The international nature of the operation, involving Colombian suppliers, Canadian distributors, and Spanish logistics, shows how globalization has affected criminal organizations. They can now coordinate activities across continents, using modern communications and transportation to move drugs more efficiently than ever before. Law enforcement adaptation. The success of this operation demonstrates how law enforcement has adapted to modern criminal organizations. The coordination between agencies from 5 different countries shows unprecedented cooperation in fighting international crime. The use of long-term surveillance, financial intelligence, and international cooperation represents a new approach to fighting organized crime. Rather than focusing on individual arrests, law enforcement is now targeting entire criminal networks, following money trails and dismantling organizational structures. The seizure of 500 kilograms of cocaine and the arrest of 4 key operatives sends a clear message to criminal organizations. Law enforcement is watching, and they will be caught. The Spanish Front Spain has become a crucial battleground in the war against international drug trafficking. The country's position as a gateway between South America and Europe makes it an attractive target for criminal organizations looking to move drugs into European markets. Spanish authorities have invested heavily in fighting drug trafficking, with specialized units dedicated to monitoring ports, marinas, and airports. The success of this operation shows that these investments are paying off. The cooperation between Spanish national police and international partners demonstrates Spain's commitment to fighting transnational crime. The country recognizes that drug trafficking is not just a domestic problem, it's a global threat that requires international solutions. The future of the investigation. As the legal proceedings continue, more details about this operation will emerge. The 4 arrested men will likely face additional charges as investigators uncover the full scope of their criminal activities. The investigation will also focus on identifying other members of the trafficking network. The seized communications and financial records will reveal additional contacts and criminal activities that could lead to more arrests. The international cooperation that made this operation possible will continue as authorities work to dismantle the broader criminal network. This arrest is just one piece of a much larger puzzle that investigators are working to solve. Conclusion. The arrest of 4 Hells Angels members for smuggling 500 kilograms of cocaine into Spain represents a significant victory in the fight against international drug trafficking. The operation demonstrates the sophistication of modern criminal organizations and the evolution of law enforcement's response to these threats. The international cooperation that made this operation possible, involving agencies from 5 different countries, shows how law enforcement has adapted to the global nature of modern crime. The success of this investigation provides hope that even the most sophisticated criminal organizations can be brought to justice. But this victory comes with a sobering reminder of the scope of the problem. The arrest of 4 men and the seizure of 500 kilograms of cocaine, while significant, represents just a fraction of the global drug trade. Criminal organizations will adapt, find new routes, and continue their activities. The men arrested in this operation thought they were untouchable. They had sophisticated plans, international connections, and years of experience. But they made one crucial mistake. They underestimated the determination and capabilities of law enforcement. As these 4 men sit in Spanish prison cells, awaiting trial for their crimes, other criminal organizations are watching. They're seeing that law enforcement is more capable, more coordinated, and more determined than ever before. The message is clear. Crime may pay in the short term, but justice will ultimately prevail. The seizure of 500 kilograms of cocaine prevented millions of euros worth of drugs from reaching European streets. It disrupted a criminal network that had been operating for years, and it sent a clear message to other criminal organizations that law enforcement is watching, waiting, and ready to act. This operation may be over, but the fight against international drug trafficking continues. With each arrest, each seizure, and each disrupted network, law enforcement gets closer to dismantling the criminal organizations that profit from human misery and social destruction. The 4 men arrested in this operation will spend decades in prison, paying for their crimes. But their arrest has made the world a little bit safer, and that's a victory worth celebrating.